Welcome back, Guardians, to another Destiny video, and in today's Destiny video we're going to talk about keyboard and mouse. But before we get into it, if you would take a few minutes and finish this video all the way to the end, I would appreciate it, and I want to have a conversation with you guys and what you think about this topic. If you see fit by the end of the video, hit that like button, it helps me out immensely, and I love you guys for your continued support. Keyboard and mouse, is it cheating? Is it cheating to use keyboard and mouse on controller using some sort of external device like the Zim 4? Now, most people will think that keyboard and mouse, you definitely have more accuracy and more control over what you're doing in your shots. And to an extent, that is very, very true, but on PC. Now, most PC games have an unlimited amount of sensitivity. There's no limit. You can turn your mouse 6 times and you will turn in game 3,000 times if you wish. Okay, maybe not to that extent, but you have way more control over your mouse and sensitivity to have better, more accurate precision shots and be able to react a lot easier and a lot quicker to where an enemy is. Now, when you try to translate that into something like Destiny on console, you are limited by the game and what the game is capable of. So let's have a look at Destiny's sensitivity scheme. 1 being the lowest, meaning you turn at a very slow rate, and 10 being the highest, sometimes uncontrollable for a lot of people, but I know that people out there want a higher sensitivity in Destiny because of the fact that it seems so slow to turn around. I personally play like a 4 or a 5 when it comes to controller because I don't really like controllers. I grew up on PC, I like keyboard and mouse, that's what I feel comfortable with. Now, Destiny, regardless of sensitivity, is built to work with a controller with sticks. So with a stick, you need the game to sort of have this floaty style of aiming where you might go up and right and then the game like has to follow you, but you can't have it be too fast or too quick because then the game would be uncontrollable. Now, when it comes to using a mouse, that really affects the gameplay. As I said, with mouse and keyboard, you're used to being able to react quick and get your shots onto an enemy almost instantaneously if you are good enough. But the problem is that the sensitivity in Destiny is limited to what the game is capable of, as I said. And even at the highest sensitivity, you still get this sort of delayed reaction in how you're moving your mouse. The best way I can put this is if I use my mouse in Overwatch on PC and I put it all the way to the left hand side of my mouse mat and drag it all the way over to the right hand side of my mouse mat, my character in game will turn 3 to 4 times due to my sensitivity, and that's something that all PC gamers are wired to feel when they're moving that mouse around. Now, if I did the same with my Zim 4 and Destiny in game, my character moving my mouse from my left to the right will turn probably 1 to 1.5 times. So in my mind, I'm thinking if I move my mouse this much, my aim is going to go here because of what's wired into me with playing PC games. Now, when it comes to Destiny, I do that and my actual aim doesn't take me to where I think or where my brain registers that it should go, which actually puts you at a massive disadvantage to controller players. But this is just based on the first couple of times I have used keyboard and mouse. I know with my intuition and my experience with mouse and keyboard, that is something that is not too difficult to overcome when I play more and more using mouse and keyboard. You just got to sort of retrain yourself on how to play the game. But I still don't feel like it's an advantage to actually being able to beat people one-on-one fights, or even, you know, just be dominant in game or get any sort of special advantage and have this, you know, massive win streaks or whatever. I still feel that it's very even because of the fact that most people who play on console have been playing on controllers for 2 years. I actually see this as being very balanced. For people who use keyboard and mouse, it's more like this is what I'm comfortable doing. Now, prior to using mouse and keyboard, my KD was probably like 1.1 or something like that. I don't even know. I don't follow that sort of stuff, but I wasn't great on that. When I started using mouse and keyboard, I was getting like a 1.5 consistently, which I feel is my actual skill level. I have seen an improvement, yes, but does it make me win every game? Of course it doesn't, because if I'm playing on my own without a team of 5, I still have other people on my team who are getting killed by the enemies, so it doesn't really give everyone a massive advantage. It gives me an advantage on a fight-to-fight basis, but it doesn't give me such an advantage where I feel like I'm just destroying everyone and no one can touch me. I also found something like, I want to call it jittery aim, jagged aim. So when I was just holding my mouse still, I felt the little micro movements in my hand that you can't really control when you're playing mouse and keyboard was making Destiny register movement that wasn't actually happening. So I could be aiming mid chest height, let's say that, and then slightly moving my mouse for some reason would take my aim up and to the right, and trying to control that mouse to stay in a precision shot was actually very, very difficult, to the point where it was hurting my wrists because my wrists weren't used to that kind of movement. Now, there is settings and stuff that you can change in the Zim to negate that kind of stuff. Like you can minimize it and make it a lot more of a relaxed process. And I still haven't got around to doing all those settings yet. And I feel like I'll do another in-depth video and some more live commentaries when I get all that sort of stuff sorted out. But there's one big thing that I feel keyboard and mouse can never be on the level of or better than an actual controller, and that is the fact that you get turn locked. Your turn sensitivity gets shut down and limited while you're sprinting. We all know this in Destiny. It's one of the things I hate the most about the game. You're running and running and running, and you cannot turn quick enough to fight someone who's behind you. Now, I feel this is much easier to control and take advantage of using a controller and a stick, because holding that stick to the right and then getting your fingers ready to do whatever else it needs to do is a much easier process than trying to get your mouse, which has already got a different sensitivity to what you're used to, while you're turning, and then also trying to click the mouse buttons to aim and shoot and your movement buttons. I just feel it's a lot easier to take advantage of that turning system using a controller. So the one thing I do love about it is I'm a very defensive player. I'll sit back and I'll shoot across a point, I'll snipe across a point, I'll scout across a point. Most of the time it's pulse rifle. I feel you do gain a massive advantage in a defensive play, and getting close quarters is a little bit more difficult than it would be on a controller. I guess it really comes down to the player and who they are, because I know Dr. Lupo uses keyboard and mouse, and I haven't watched many of his videos, but I guarantee you he's probably a lot better than I am with mouse and keyboard. So I guess it's really about practice and experience. And I feel like at the top of your game, once you've got used to keyboard and mouse and you are comfortable with playing keyboard and mouse, I feel like you can improve your game. You can get higher KDs. You can play the game better. You can help your team more. Do I feel like it's cheating and gives you such a special advantage where you are unbeatable? No, not at all. Not whatsoever. No, just no, that's not the case. It just feels like it's more comfortable for me to use, so I feel like I can perform better on a consistent basis. But do I feel like I could destroy everyone? No, not at all. There's people out there who are like 10 times better than me on controller than I am at keyboard and mouse. And then you have the added fact that of teammates, you can't control how good or how bad your teammates are. So if you run with a team randoms that are all 5 really bad players and you're playing 6 great players, it doesn't matter what you're using, you are not going to be able to beat that team. So, you know, it's really a situational thing. On a one-to-one, fight-to-fight basis, I am going to do much better with keyboard and mouse than I would with controller. Can I still die and lose those fights? Of course. I would say that before using controller, I would give myself a 50% chance of winning a fight one-on-one, whether it's shotgun, snipers, whether it's primaries, whatever. I feel like 5 times out of 10, I would either win or lose a fight. Now I feel like I'm more on the 7 to 8 scale. Maybe the 7 scale right now, because I haven't used keyboard and mouse that much. The 7 out of 10 scale. So 7 times I'm going to win that fight. I don't think that's enough of an increase to call this cheating, but that's just my opinion. I want to know your guys' opinion. If you stuck around to the end of the video, make sure you leave a comment telling me what you think of keyboard and mouse, and end or preface your comment with the words oogity boogity. Again, please hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. It helps me out immensely, and it only takes you a couple of seconds, and I feel like if you did enjoy the video, there's nothing wrong with hitting the like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell, become part of the notification squad. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow, and you guys have been awesome.